Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. NBA rumors, even Jimmy Butler's good friend Kyle Lowry got sick of antics with Heat. There's no doubt that Jimmy Butler's standoff with the Miami Heat is the NBA's most dramatic storyline ahead of the February 6 trade deadline. However, the six-time All-Star annoyed the organization far before he publicly requested a trade on January 2, via NBA insider Jake Fisher. Butler, by that point, 2022, was clearly established as the Heat's unquestioned linchpin, essentially greenlight by the franchise to come and go and play as he pleased, Fisher recounted. I remember visiting Miami's morning shoot-around in Oklahoma City back in December 2022. Butler walked out prematurely with Kyle Lowry in lockstep. Mind you, that was before Butler's injuries and intermittent availability, according to league sources, became a source of tangible tension within the organization. Lowry helped Butler carry Miami to the NBA Finals that season, which it lost in 5 games to the Denver Nuggets. That success, though, was despite the latter player's personality at the time. Sources say even Lowry, who remains as close away from the court as anyone to Butler, gradually grew fatigued by his teammates' headstrong tendencies on the floor, Fisher continued. Currently in his second season with his hometown Philadelphia 76ers, Lowry declined to comment last week when an interview was requested. While Jimmy Buckets is dynamic and exciting on the court, it seems that his dramatic tendencies can test the patience of people around him. Regardless, it's reached the point of no return in Miami as both sides try to finalize the divorce. Butler, though, will have to play out the rest of the season with the Heat if they don't find a trade partner by February 6. The 5-time All-NBA team member is eligible to return from his 7-game suspension on Friday against the Nuggets. Butler's discontent with Miami started over the summer when the organization refused to offer him a 2-year, $113 million contract extension via the Miami Herald's Anthony Chang. Pat Riley and company didn't budge, though, and the 5-time All-NBA defensive team member thus lost his joy, as he expressed on January 2 via ESPN. Tyler Herro has taken over the Miami Heat since Jimmy Butler has been away, and there's no question that this could be his team now. As the Heat are on their West Coast road trip, Herro has come up big and is leading the team to win after win. In their latest game against the Portland Trail Blazers, Herro finished the game with 32 points, doing it on every level for the Heat. After the game, head coach Erik Spoelstra gave Herro his flowers and made a comparison for him without saying the player's name. A lot of instances this year, he's reminding me of another player, I'm not going to say who. His movement off ball, the skill level, the handling, the scoring at all 3 levels, the flair for the moment in opposing arenas, Spoelstra said. Even though he didn't put a name on the player, many people are assuming that he's talking about Stephen Curry, and it makes perfect sense. Curry has always been known for his movement off the ball and creating high-percentage shots from anywhere on the floor. That's what Herro has been able to do, and he's making a case to be an all-star this season with the way he's playing. With Butler looking like he's not returning to the team and likely getting traded, it's time for the Heat to buy into the players they have now and build around Herro and Bam Adebayo. Herro has grown every season that he's been in the league, and it's now looking like he's taking the step to be a star player with what he can do on offense. It'll be important for the Heat to put the right pieces around him now, and watch as he continues to grow and become a problem for opposing teams on defense. NBA insider reveals 3 Heat players heavily influenced Jimmy Butler's trade request. Relationships are crucial in the NBA, whether it's with teammates, coaches, or the front office. In the case of Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler, 2 of the aforementioned parties are seeming playing a role in his trade request. The obvious disconnect comes with team president Pat Riley and the front office, but it seems the 6-time All-Star is not too fond of the Heat's current roster. NBA insider Mark Stein revealed in a recent article the 3 teammates Butler was closest with are no longer part of the organization. Maybe the strongest argument Butler could muster as a counter: look to his left and right, and his closest teammates from that Cinderella team in 2023 are all gone, Stein wrote. Max Strus, Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin, 3 starters from Miami's Game 1 Finals lineup against Denver, all left the Heat over the past 2 summers. Those were Butler's guys, said another NBA source familiar with the Heat's thinking, according to Stein. None of the 3 former Heat players were traded but instead left in free agency. While resigning them was partially out of the Heat's control, it's surprising a stronger effort wasn't made to retain their franchise cornerstone's closest friends off the court. Stein went a step further, reporting the 35-year-old saw Strus, who is now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, as a brother. Butler is said to have viewed Strus as a brother, someone who could match the All-Star's sarcastic, some call it abrasive, sense of humor. They hatched a celebrated handshake routine, featured often in Instagram posts and punctuated by the players flipping each other off with shared tongue-in-cheek zeal, Stein wrote. Several people who knew that edition of the Heat well cited Strus as an instrumental figure in keeping Butler steady within the greater team dynamic. To make matters worse, the Heat were never able to add another superstar alongside Butler, despite focusing the majority of their attention on it in recent summers. Heat predicted to move Jimmy Butler, Indiana, shocking trade for $251 million star. The message is clear on the NBA trade market: Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler wants to join the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns hope to add Butler. For this to come to fruition, Suns guard Bradley Beal must agree to waive his no-trade clause. Even if Beal is willing to do so, an organization needs to be willing to take on his lucrative contract. That team is almost certainly not the Heat. Suns receive Jimmy Butler, Richaun Holmes, Josh Richardson. Heat receive Bradley Beal, Ryan Dunn, 2031 first-round pick swap, PHX. Wizards receive Duncan Robinson. Let's assume Miami team president Pat Riley and the front office can overlook Beal's 5-year, $251 million contract. His fit with the team is far from ideal. In his prime, Beal resembled a similar style of play and production to Heat guard Tyler Herro's breakout campaign. Pairing 2 of such a parallel archetype is not a recipe for success, especially on the defensive end. Criticism is already looming about the lack of prowess on the defensive end with a backcourt of Herro and Terry Rozier. Beal is arguably a worse defender, and his offensive production is not meeting standards in any aspect. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Bradley Beal? Leave your opinion in the comments.